Good morning. Today, as we've been walking through different places in the Bible with prayer, we now come to a place where during David's life, the King David, we're going to kind of move back and forth in that, but we're in the book of Psalms. And Psalms, many of them are attributed to David or the time of David, King David, in the Bible. And Psalms are songs that are sung to God usually. So these usually have instruments in the background and stuff, but we only have the words at this time. We don't even have the sheet music behind it, but we can imagine what it's like. And so as we get to these Psalms have places where they teach us about God, who God is, and actually how to relate to this God. Among all the things in our lives, all the different types of things you can think of, there's a Psalm for everything. But the beginning of Psalms sets the stage for this. And actually, we're going to be praying those Psalms the next couple days. But today, we're going to pause as we enter into this time of Psalms for the next few days and looking through our days of prayer. That sets the stage with this idea of one who is blessed, one who has a full, rich life in God, a full life, a blessed life, a peace-filled life. And this idea of blessing is the result of being near to the one that we love. There's an image that's drawn out early on in the book of Psalms, and it is actually a tree. Let's look at this, and it contrasts the way of those who are wicked and where they draw their life source from, others around them, and then where this tree drawing water and the life source from water and what that produces. Let's hear what it says in Psalm 1:1. It says, "Blessed is the person who walks not in the counsel of the wicked, nor stands in the way of sinners, nor sits in the seat of scoffers, but their delight is in the law of the Lord, in which they meditate day and night. They are like a tree planted by streams of water, which yield its fruit in season. Its leaf does not wither. Whatever it does prospers." There's a contrast here between this life that's lived with God, and that's expressed here by meditating or kind of turning over the law of the Lord, the word of God, that they would turn it over and over so that they would understand who God is and relate to God and know this. But the one who meditates on this, who chews on it, who lives with it in a conversation with God, is the one who's blessed. And they're like a tree. Now, this is a really cool image. And actually today, what struck some of me in some ways was I had a conversation with someone, and they were speaking about, as we were in the conversation, we were talking about actually this verse, and I said, if you were a tree, what would you be? I never asked a question of somebody before, I don't think. It just kind of, but it was like, if you were a tree, what kind of tree would you be? And that kind of got our minds thinking. And I wonder this too. It speaks about this tree that's near the water source, that's being drawing from the water, that yields fruit and doesn't wither. And I wonder this. I wonder if you could pause and in your time with God, I'd like you to read Psalm 1, and then I'd like you to imagine with God, just really talk with God, maybe out loud or just kind of internal prayer, asking God this one question, two questions. One of them is this: if I were a tree, what would I be? What are those characteristics that you are that also are like other trees? Are you tall? Are you short? But strong or flexible? There's so many different images of trees and their qualities, and maybe the qualities that God has made in you when you are mature and healthy. And then the second one is this: what type of fruit does God bear through you? Like if you're well watered and you're alive with God, what type of fruit, or like spiritual, tangible grace and love and action and thoughts in this world, what does that look like for you? A cherry tree is way different than a peach tree, and a maple tree is different than any other type of tree I can think of. A sequoia tree. There's very different types of trees, and they have different unique parts about it. I wonder, what type of tree would you be? This would be a fun conversation that you could have with God, and just kind of a prayer prompt. I'd like you to read Psalm 1 and ask that question. If I were a tree, what would I be? Second question: what type of fruit would I bear? We'll see you tomorrow.